Now, we all know that that $15 billion is not going to any type of long-term transportation investment citywide. And the reason that they even add the whole thing long-term onto there is because that's just a way of drawing it out so that you don't really think about where the money is actually going. Now, here's the other thing also. Essentially, in a nutshell, they're charging New Yorkers $9 to drive through Manhattan. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, we have to head to New York State, the home of New Venezuela, formerly known as New York City, because Kathy Hochul is fighting for her political life right now. With the bloodbath, which was the 2024 election, where Donald Trump completely washed Kamala Harris, that put a lot of governors and mayors on notice. Now, you do have some governors like J.B. Pritzker in Illinois and also Gavin Newsom in California that have doubled down on the DNC message surrounding abortion and illegal immigration. And one of the first people to double down on it was Kathy Hochul when Donald Trump won, but she has since backpedaled from some of her positions. Now, we all know how she feels about illegal immigration. She wholeheartedly takes the DNC points as it pertains to that. But recently, as we discussed not too long ago, she actually backpedaled a little bit, in which now all of a sudden she's ready and willing to call ICE if an illegal immigrant commits a crime. She said that she will call ICE herself. But now what we see is her throwing money at the New York population. Yes, she's ready to make it rain on the citizens of New York. And what I think is happening here is that she's noticing, particularly with the mayor of New Venezuela, Eric Adams, she's seeing how the tides is gradually shifting for the better and in a more positive light for Mayor Eric Adams as he's gravitated closer to Trump. He stated multiple times over, I am not going to war with this administration. I am going to work with this administration. He has praised Elon Musk and he said how much he's happy that Elon Musk has joined the Trump administration. And seeing how the tides have shifted a little bit in the favor of Adams, she's trying to do the same thing while at the same time not essentially bending the knee completely to Trump or to anything that might seem that would be close to conservative or Republican values and or talking points or policies, right? So now what she's doing in order to avoid that is she's saying, well, you know what? I got an idea. Let me give everybody in New York a one-time payment of $300 to $500. Let me just throw a little money at them, and maybe that'll help my approval rating and it'll help with my ability to get reelected. So I want to get into a couple of clips right now, just so we can see what she's talking about. So let's jump into this first clip here.
The truth is, the last few years have been really, really tough for people. It's stressful. Sometimes it's just so damn hard to make ends meet. You didn't do anything wrong. You followed the rules. You work hard. And yet, ever since COVID, it seems like the prices of everything keep going up and up and up.
False. Ever since Biden and Harris came into office, the price of everything has been going up and up and up and up.
Here's what I'm proposing in my budget next month. They will send you a check to buy your groceries for a month or whatever you want to spend it on. And if you're an individual earning up to $150,000 a year, it's $300. What does that look like? All right. How about that for individuals? Now, if you're filing jointly,
I'm sorry, just unveiling these gigantic checks is so unnecessary and goofy, especially when you're talking about a one-time payment of $300 in one of the most expensive cities that you can live in this country, New Venezuela, formerly known as New York City. That is crazy. She's trying to make it seem like she's doing so much more than what she's actually doing.
and you have a family, you need a little more, right? Families are expensive. How about this? $500. $500 for families earning less than $300,000, because I know life in New York City is expensive and your salaries may sound nice, but they don't go very far. This is a one-time $3 billion surplus that I believe should be returned to 8.6 million households across New York later this year.
See, now here's the thing. Though she might believe that this is a good idea, even people in her own party are calling her out for this being BS. And that's what I want to jump into next. We're going to get into this quick news clip from a local news station in New York. So we're going to get a feel of what the people of New York think about this, which obviously it's going to maybe to some degree be good, because who doesn't like getting money sent to them, right? But I want us to focus in on what's going to be said by a particular House of Representatives member who is a Democrat that's going to come out against this. Let's jump into that clip next.
So yeah, $500 doesn't sound pretty bad to most people. In fact, a lot of folks we spoke with sounded pretty excited about this idea. Of course, this plan, though, does have its critics. Governor Kathy Hochul saying she wants to give people the extra money they might need for gas, groceries, rent, doctor's bills maybe, but it's being met with some criticism.
I will continue to find creative ways to let you know I understand your struggles.
Governor Kathy Hochul is calling it an inflation refund. The plan includes $500 checks from the state for couples making less than $300,000 and $300 checks to single tax filers making less than $150,000. We caught up with New Yorkers digging deeper in their pockets to pay for their weekly groceries. The plan sounded pretty good to most of them.
I don't think anybody has a problem with that.
Well, some people have a problem with it. While some extra cash sounds great to most, the plan does have its critics. Among them, Congressman Richie Torres. In a tweet, the Bronx representative said, quote, "A one-time check will not compensate for the double-digit increases in inflation that New Yorkers have suffered during the governorship of Kathy Hochul. For 3 years, the governor has ignored the millions of New York families crippled by the crushing cost of groceries and gas. The governor has deceptively reframed the cost of congestion pricing as, quote, cost savings. Is the congestion fee part of her inflation refund for New Yorkers?"
He crushed her. He crushed her. And it's most likely because, I mean, at least if I'm speculating, this guy's going to try and run for governor himself. I want to pull this up on the screen before we finish out the rest of this video clip, right? Let's pull this up on the screen. First and foremost, who is this man, Richie Torres? And what is the congestion pricing that he's discussing? I want to jump into that so we have more clarity on what they're talking about in this news clip. So this is Richie Torres, 36 years old, representative out of New York. So we got that, right? But what is he talking about as far as congestion pricing is concerned? In New York City, a planned congestion pricing project would charge vehicles traveling into or within the central business district of Manhattan. This disincentivizing fee, intended to cut down on traffic congestion and population and pollution, was first proposed in 2007 and included in the 2019 New York State government budget by the New York State legislature. As of November 24th, the congestion pricing scheme is expected to take effect on January 5th of 2025. If the plan goes into effect, tolls will be collected electronically and will vary depending on the time of day, type of vehicle, and whether a vehicle has an Easy Pass toll transponder. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority estimates a profit of $15 billion should the plan be implemented, which it intends to invest into long-term transportation initiatives citywide. Now, we all know that $15 billion is not going to any type of long-term transportation transportation investments citywide. And the reason that they even add the whole thing long term onto there is because that's just a way of drawing it out so that you don't really think about where the money is actually going. Now, here's the other thing also. Essentially, in a nutshell, they're charging New Yorkers $9 to drive through Manhattan. If you drive through Manhattan, you're going to get one of those flashing lights that hit your license plate. And in the mail, you're going to get essentially a tax, right? A pass through tax, a congestion tax of $9. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this tax was originally $15. And there was so much backlash behind it that Kathy Hochul put a pause on it and then rewrapped it as a $9 tax. And somehow this was going to apparently save New Yorkers money, I guess. But that's what we have here as far as the congestion tax is concerned. And she's trying to mask all of these things as she's trying to collect 15 billion extra dollars for the state by charging New Yorkers $9 to drive through Manhattan in order to put a band-aid on top of that and to hopefully get you to forget about that. Well, I'm going to give you a one-time payment of $300 to $500, and hopefully you guys will reelect me as governor again when the time comes. But I don't think that that's going to work. But anyways, let's get back into the original news clip that we're watching as we round this whole thing out.
If they want to use it to pay their commuting costs, they can. If they want to use it to help pay their doctor's bills or any extra costs of groceries, know that it's going to be there for the next holiday season.
And back out here live, when pressed on that congestion pricing question, Governor Kathy Hochul saying she has plenty of constituents outside the city of New York and she needs to share the love with them as well. Now, if you're wondering if and when you might get this check, well, it has to get approved. This plan has to get approved by the state legislature. It's scheduled to go in front of the legislature early next year. After that, if it does get approved, you could see this check coming around April 1st. In Manhattan, I'm Julie Millay, Pix 11 News.
This woman is desperate. She's desperate. A one-time payment of $300 to $500 is not going to win you re-election, especially when you're taxing folks $9 a day just to drive in and out of Manhattan. That is crazy. That is completely crazy. But, I guess good luck to her with trying to survive politically. She desperately is trying not to go the way of Kamala Harris, but that might be what she's in for, especially once Trump comes into office. We have to remember she came into office, I believe it is in 2022. So she's already at the halfway mark with us coming to at the end of 2024. So essentially, she's already starting her campaign, right? She's campaigning for re-election without officially announcing it. That's what's going on here. And we'll see how that works out for her moving forward. I don't think that that's going to work out too well, but we'll have to wait and see. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And most importantly, as I always say, make sure you follow me on Telegram and Rumble at TD Media Group. The links to both my Telegram and Rumble are in the description box below. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.